In our Sunrise Smart Start, one man sent to the hospital after a shooting on Magnolia Street in Rochester. Officers responding around 10 o'clock last night. They tell us a 20-year-old man was shot in the upper body there. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No arrests have been made. Rochester police identifying the man fatally stabbed on Genesee Street Monday morning. Police say 33-year-old Michael Adams of Rochester was stabbed in the upper body around 2:30 a.m. yesterday. He was pronounced dead at the scene. No suspects are in custody. Police are also investigating two other homicides on Genesee Street involving an 18 and 22-year-old. News 8 is your local election headquarters. Today is primary day in New York. If you are eligible and didn't make it to the polls for early voting this year, you have until 9 tonight to cast your vote. Erica Cost joining us live from the Rochester Academy of Medicine, one of the polling sites, joined by a very busy man on this primary day. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning, Leah. That's right. Rochester mayoral candidate Malik Evans just casted your ballot. We were there the whole process. Of course, we didn't actually look at your ballot, of course. That's right. But one of the key issues we were talking about afterwards that's on your mind going into today is public safety. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing levels of violence that I have not seen in my lifetime as a Rochesterian. Very concerning in our community. Even just last night, the violence that we saw near elementary school on Friday, hearing about a mother being gunned down in front of her children. It is on my mind, and I know that it is on the mind of a lot of voters.
Yeah, and so what do you plan to promise your voters to solve this?
That we look at where this illegal flow of illegal guns that are permeating our city, where they are coming from. We need to work with all levels of government, federal, state, local, in order to stop the flow of illegal guns that are out on our streets and are being used to kill folks by people who are doing illegal things.
Yeah, and so Malik Evans there on public safety and violence. Now, Mayor Lovely Warren already casted her vote the first day of primary voting at Sibley Square. Of course, it will be chasing her down. She's going to be canvassing all day today, and stay with News 8 for all your updates. In Rochester, Erica Cost, News 8. All
right, a busy day ahead, Erica. Thank you for that. We have all the resources you need in one primary election voter guide. It's on our website, rochesterfirst.com.
Let's get a look at some other news this morning. Thousands across Monroe County still without power this morning after that heavy summer storm ripped through the area yesterday.
Yeah, so much damage was seen across Wayne, Ontario, and Monroe counties, especially southeast of Rochester. This video from Perrington shows branches and power lines knocked down in a home badly damaged by a falling tree there. Neighbors say they never experienced a storm quite like this.
It happened very quickly. I felt like I was in the middle of the Wizard of Oz movie. Because when you have these really bad storms, you're always worrying about the trees falling around you. This has never happened, though, to this extent. Not in my 30 years.
Well, no injuries reported, thankfully, from that tree crashing into the house. But look at the video there. We're told the family has a place to stay while their home is repaired.
James Gilbert with us. James, it's incredible to see that damage and realize just, you know, you think about the rain that came down, but the wind that came with it, boy, it whipped up a frenzy in a hurry yesterday.
Yeah, we didn't see any big gusts at the airport, so I can't tell you specifically how strong the wind was, but Syracuse recorded a 66-mile-per-hour wind gust, and it was the same storm system that moved through. So we know we were getting those winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. I asked you guys the question of the best place to be during either a tornado warning or if you get a severe thunderstorm warning, and you guys had it exactly right. The basement. If you have a basement, that's the spot to be in situations like this. Thank goodness everybody is safe from the storms. If you don't have a basement, the next step is an interior room, and we know you don't really want to be in a car. You want to be inside. That's going to be your best place. Today, you want to be outside. Golf forecast, I think it's a great day as temperatures climb into the 60s. A few spots maybe could squeak into the low 70s, but otherwise not too bad. We'll take a look at the 8-day forecast and your commute as well at the end of the show. Mark?
All right, James, thank you. Our sunrise traffic, I guess we call this a residual effect of the storm yesterday. A tree down in Perrington this morning on Pittsford-Palmyra Road, right near Craig Road there, so avoid that area if you can. You see the view of the Douglas-Anthony Bridge downtown. 490 is on time, 390 and 590 as well.
In other news this morning, a voting rights bill is likely dead on arrival in the Senate today, but that won't stop Democrats from trying to push it through. Joined this morning again by Washington correspondent Basil John, live in Washington, D.C. Basil, good morning. Do Democrats in the Senate have any hope of getting this bill passed?
Well, Mark, Leah, good morning. Yes, there is some hope from Democrats that a bill will be able to get across the finish line, which is why they are still actively trying to push this through to get the debate going. Right now, for those who don't know, the vote that they have going on today is just so that they can actually debate on this issue on the floor. This isn't a vote to actually make the bill come through and be made into law. So Democrats are trying to push to have this conversation with Republicans so they can get out to the American public as to why it is that Democrats are pushing for it. You also saw that there are still many Democrats who actually like some of the proposals that West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin brought forward in order to make the bill more bipartisan. It has some Republican aspects to it, like having required voter ID, but then it also has some Democratic policies like making Election Day a holiday and also banning partisan gerrymandering. So there's options out there for Democrats, but we have to wait and see as to whether Republicans will actually play ball.
Let's talk a little bit about, Basil, what Republican lawmakers are saying about today's vote.
Well, Republicans actually are just stating the fact that this is unnecessary. They're saying that now that Democrats ended up taking advantage in the last election, they're trying to do more in order to grab more of a hold over the election process by inserting a lot of their views and a lot of what they want, and by taking over the election process, which is supposed to be managed by states, so that's managed by the federal government. Now, the Republicans have been going on for about this for some time now, their thoughts when it comes to Democrats and the election process, but they said that there is no way that they can go ahead with what Democrats are demanding out of a voting rights bill because it would take too much of that power away from the states, and they want to keep it as it is.
All right, Basil, thank you so much for your coverage. There is a bipartisan infrastructure deal that about 20 senators have signed on to, but that doesn't go far enough for some progressive Democrats who say they want more action when it comes to climate change.
We'll keep watching. In the meantime, the Supreme Court handing down a unanimous decision and a victory for student athletes, ruling the NCAA cannot limit education-related benefits, including payments. The bench upholding a lower court ruling that found the restrictions violate antitrust laws. The ruling focusing on how schools reimburse players for things like computers, science equipment, and musical instruments. It only addresses education-related payments, at least for now. Time now for a look at the GRE Morning Business Report. The number of people heading to the airport is at its highest level since the beginning of the pandemic. The TSA says it screened more than 2.1 million travelers Sunday. Besides being a pandemic-era high, it marks the highest level since May of 2019.
Well, from the skies to the sea, the first U.S. cruise in 15 months setting sail yesterday. Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas left Port Miami carrying about 600 people. The ship will dock in the Bahamas on its two-day tour. Staff, along with guests, volunteered for the vaccinated voyage.
All right, here's what some folks might be talking about at the water cooler this morning. Did you hear this one? Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Carl Nassib, the first active NFL player to announce he is gay. Nassib has been in the league for 5 years. He is the brother of former Syracuse quarterback Ryan Nassib. Nassib also donated $100,000 to the Trevor Project, the leading national organization for suicide prevention among LGBTQ youth.
Good for him.
Big step forward.
Yes.
Yeah. There's been a lot of players who have come out when their careers were over to say that they are gay.
This is who I am.
Right.
Yes.
He is saying it as he is a current player in the NFL. Big step forward.
Yep.
Yeah, good to see that there. And no problems with the morning commute, which is also nice to see.
Very nice to see
as,
that.
We had a very busy day yesterday, not only the morning but the afternoon. A couple of rounds of storms. We've got no rounds of storms today. Drivecast is nice and easy. Temperatures start off in the 50s. We'll finish in the 60s tomorrow afternoon. Temperature climbing as we get over the next day after day after day, the 8-day forecast. Hey, who knows? By Friday, maybe we make a run at 90 degrees.
All right. Bring it on. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update coming up in 30 minutes. CBS This Morning is up next. Be safe and have a great Tuesday.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.